All right. Sorry, it is hectic. I failed on so many levels, which, just real quick, seems to be a thing for our anniversary streams. Uh, Hello and welcome to Next to Nothing, a podcast for gamers on a budget. I'm your host, Danie K. With me, as always, my wonderful, my beautiful co-host, Mr. Green Elite. How you doing, Mr. Green Elite?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, Danny?
Dude, I am doing wonderful. As well with us, as always, Revsven, Padre. How you doing, dude?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I would say as like most times, not as always. I'm not always here.
Well.
I'm here, but I'm not here sometimes. You know.
Dude,
Are you
insinuating
I emotionally
something?
connect with that statement.
And then, guys, our special guest. It's our 2-year anniversary. We needed to get him back, and we were able to get him back. Renditionzz. Ren, how you doing, dude?
Hi, that's me. Guys, welcome to my podcast. Thank you so much for joining on in. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Next to Nothing podcast starring me and me alone with my with my cronies. I'm kidding. These are all jokes. I'm sorry. I hope you guys are doing great. Hello, everybody.
I'm sure there's certain people who would look at you and they're rejoicing at your return. And then there's probably some other people who are just like, how dare you?
Oh, this
You
guy
traitor.
again. Oh, God.
Ren, for those who somehow don't know who you are, tell people who you are, what you do, and where people can find you.
Well, my in-game name for everything is Renditionzz with 2 Z's because I'm dumb and I can't spell my own name. I play a lot of games on stream. I do VR streams right now, currently. I stream. I'm a streamer. You can find me at twitch.tv/Renditionzz 2 Z's. Again, really stupid. Me, dumb, 2 Z's. Makes sense. Yeah, but yeah, that's about that.
Oh, man. And for those who might have been recent fans of the show, maybe brought over from Mr. Green Elite and Padres taking over, Ren was my co-host for the show for over a year and a half, I think. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, it was a year and a half.
Yeah, so I started the show with a guy named Proc. I completely took it over, rebranded the whole thing. I brought Ren on with a girl named Spectissa. She only lasted a little while because school. And Ren and I had fun for a year and a half with this show. And then
So much fun.
He decided to leave me, but we made it up. I brought you guys 2 new daddies.
Oh, man. We just didn't connect spiritually.
Yeah, well,
That was it.
you gotta admit, though, the
Also,
sex was
Roberto
great.
is really hot. So I had to leave for him. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I mean, wasn't the sex great, though?
Yeah,
You just did
absolutely.
so.
Uh-huh. For sure.
Before we really get into the show, I just want to say a few things. I really appreciate everyone who has helped make the show what it is. It's hard to look back on the YouTube channel and on the podcast host and see the oldest episode being July of 2018. That's really, really, really weird. So I just want to thank all the listeners out there. I want to thank all of my co-hosts, past and present. Again, thank you so much. I also want to thank all of our guests who have come on to make the show really awesome. If you guys miss any part of the show tonight, you guys can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts, and everywhere else podcasts are found. You guys can also find a merch store down below in the description of this episode. You have a limited time offer on merch until August 4th. So get that limited time design before August 4th. We're also doing contests this week.
Contests, you say?
Contest, yes. Which I actually need to get the other contest prepped. But Mr. Green Elite, why don't you go on ahead and explain how the podcast or how the contest work for the show?
The podcast for the show, off air for YouTube, we had it set to where if you do answer a question, which was, oh shoot, what was the question? If what type of game do you wish that you could enjoy? We had several people reply to that on the YouTube channel for today's episode to enter in to win the show. I can't speak today. The code for today. All you need to do is type in !Bergie, and that is a nice little shout out to Renditionzz with 2 Z's.
My
'cause he
adorable
is
little
smart.
burger emotes. Oh my god, they're so cute.
Yeah, so everyone in chat on the live show, be sure to do !Bergie for your chance to win. We're going to give away a copy of Psychonauts for tonight's episode. And then YouTube will have that up later today or tomorrow. So
Yeah, so we can actually say if you guys are watching the YouTube video right now, you know, you're watching afterwards, the question of the week this week is, which game series do you want to see a remaster of? So again, question of the week is, what game series do you want to see a remaster of? Answer that in the comments of this YouTube video, and we will announce the winner in next week's episode, which last week's episode, the question of the week was, which game, like Green said, which game genre do you wish you could enjoy? And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 entries into said question. I am going to pick a random name right now. Go ahead.
the game for that, by the way, we're giving away a copy of Hollow Knight.
Yes, Hollow Knight.
Yes, Hollow Knight. Good game.
Pog. So good. One of my favorites. It's so good.
So the winner for last week's question of the week drawing is... random name picker is working for you now. I don't know why it's taking so long to pull a random name from a list of 8, but it's doing it. It's doing it. Our winner is Cheyenne Wheeler. Congratulations, Cheyenne Wheeler.
Congratulations, Cheyenne.
We will send you a message with the Steam key. I know exactly who you are, so you will get that message via Discord. Congratulations on winning. Guys, I think that about does it for all this stuff up front. Oh, I did want to mention real quick. So we do have a grand prize at the end of this month. And you can enter more than once a week. You guys can enter up to twice a week for this grand prize at the end of the month. You can enter for a total of 8 times for a Steam gift card. So the more times you enter, the more chances you have to win. So make sure you guys do that. Other than that, guys, I think we can go without any more delay and jump right into the show. You guys good?
Sounds
Hell
good
yeah,
to me.
dude. Let's go.
All right.
Do it, Lars.
So, this week I wanted to start out the show by talking about... Oops, let me get things proper here. The Insurgency Sandstorm update. I know it's a meme that I talk about this game all the fucking time. That's because I like it. So I need to talk... I just need to talk about this update real quick. So some updates that they made since the last time I talked about it is they added some new weapons. There's nothing super exciting or cool. They did add some older, more obscure weapons like the Sterling, which is like an old SMG, and the Grease Gun, again, another older SMG. They added a new map, which is a remaster of a map from the original game called Bariz. This one, I think they call it Title or something like that. It's something different. It doesn't matter. It's just a remake of Bariz. They added night maps with night vision. They also had some night vision goggles and IR sights and IR flashlights, like infrared flashlights, which are pretty fucking cool. A note on the night vision, they added a couple different varieties of night vision. They added green night vision, amber, white, and multicolored. They also have different field of views, so like the cheaper night vision points wise has a more narrow circular point of view, so you only see, you know, about like that much, while the more expensive ones are a little bit wider. The night modes are really fun. I'm gonna say that like right off the bat. The lighting is gorgeous in the game, even on my crappy rig. It also makes everything feel super fucking dangerous. There are people in the shadows and they're waiting to shoot you. Like
They're lurking at every corner.
Yeah, it's like Charlie is everywhere, and you don't know where Charlie is. You feel really tactical and slick, like you're creeping up. One thing they added, so a debuff or a nerf, I should say, for night vision is that it's slower to go ADS. To aim down sights is slower. So you can take this training perk that is point shooting, which is you just pull the gun in and your muzzle is centered on the screen. So you just kind of sit there, and it's more like hip fire than it is ADS, but it's kind of like an in between. So you look pretty fucking slick with the gun turned sideways. You have a little IR laser, and you're just like creeping around, and you're doing your leans, and you're just, it feels so tactical and slick. That's all I really got to say. I mean, it just feels great. It looks great. It feels great. It's a good update, an update I've been wanting for a while. I think that's one of the first things I said about this game was why they didn't have night maps, because the original had night maps.
I distinctly remember even back when I was on, we had like a full-on discussion about why night maps is a great idea and how lighting is a fantastic thing for a game, especially like that, where it's just like, why don't you have it in there yet? It's so good.
Yeah, exactly. I know it's been a thing that the community has wanted for a really, really, really long time. So yeah, that's been the Insurgency Sandstorm update. Feels good. They hadn't really add any new game modes. I mean, they added some new playlists, some night mode playlists and stuff like that, which, they're the regular playlist in night mode. There's not much else to say. I hope they keep night mode a lot more often. I can say, just from a PvP to PvE aspect, PvP wise, the AI feels dumber somehow in night mode. Somehow you are the Charlie in the dark that just murks everybody.
Oh man. I wonder if they use the same AI for the night mode and day mode. So in day mode, like, it makes somewhat sense for like the certain things that they do, where it's like, oh, okay, they can cross this road. Whereas in night mode, it's like, why are you just randomly crossing this road with a flashlight on just because you can? Why are you doing this? That's a possibility.
Yeah, it is a possibility. In the flashlight thing, I'll also say this. If you are in a PvP or a PvE mode and in night mode and you're using a flashlight, your mom's a hoe. You're blinding your teammates who are using night vision. You are literally making it impossible for them to see. Like, my retinas burn. Like the light bounces off every surface, it feels like if there's like a wall and there's a flashlight, it bounces and it obscures like doorways. Like, so the paths that you are trying to like monitor and your teammate has a flashlight on it, it's almost impossible to like watch a doorway. So if you're using any version of a flashlight, your mom's a hoe. That's all I gotta say. Your mom's a hoe.
I will say right now, I will be the guy, if I ever play that game, I will 100% be the guy with like 3 flashlights. I will be that guy. Guaranteed.
Yeah. So that's the Insurgency Sandstorm update. Any questions? Any thoughts?
Well, but we need to play together, but on the flashlight thing as well, the whole your mom's a hoe thing goes especially well with not only Insurgency Sandstorm, but if you do that as a survivor in Dead by Daylight, your mom's a hoe as well. If you use a flashlight in the digital space at all whatsoever, your mom's a gardening tool. She's a hoe.
Gee, Padre, if only there was a way that you could have played with me already.
I mean,
we're not always looking for handouts, but they kind of did respond to your tweet.
They responded to my tweet, but never responded to me. I got my copy because of Green Elite over here.
Someone slid into my DMs, literally. It was a fantastic, fantastic moment for me.
Wait,
I tried to do Fat Boy sliding on the slip and slide, saying let me slide in them DMs,
Absolutely.
and they never even looked. It still has been. I didn't even get left on red. I got left on sent.
Shout out to NWI's Kara. I don't even think she works over there anymore, interns over there anymore, who gave us our free copy to give away last year, like almost to the day.
That was the same copy that I gave Rev.
Yeah, because he gave it to. It was supposed to be your cousin, right?
Yeah. I sent it to my cousin forever ago, and he never used it. I'm like thinking like, I've never seen him play it, so he probably hasn't used it yet, and I don't think he's ever going to, because at this point he probably forgot that he even has it.
So he sent me the key, and sure enough, it still worked.
Yeah.
Which,
wow.
I'm just gonna say it's absolutely hilarious because that key has gone through some hands because it was originally sent to a Twitter prize pig, who did not respond.
That's right.
Yeah, it was just a bot account that was retweeting that won it, but I gave it the requisite 30 days. So then we gave it away, and Green got selected up before he was even a co-host.
Well, technically, I won it first.
That's right.
And then I'm like, no, just give it away. I don't need it because I already had the game. And then it came back to me anyways.
So now Rev has it. So yeah, Rev, we'll have to play sometime in the next week or so. He's rolling his eyes. Why don't you explain to the kind folks what's been going on?
Fuck Windstream. That's what's going on, okay? I have been dealing with internet issues since July 1st. I managed to squeeze a stream in the other day, but in the process, I began dropping frames. I'm surprised I'm even able to use my webcam because I had to use a picture last week for the podcast because this is some bull crap. I get right now I'm sitting at about, 10 megabits download and 4 megabits upload a second when I pay for 150.
That's some high quality internet.
And that's why I get to use the 4-letter words this time. Fuck 'em.
Yeah. Next week, our special keyword is going to be fuck Windstream. That's going to be our special giveaway code next week.
Make it so.
All right, yeah. Any other thoughts on Insurgency Sandstorm? It's fun. It adds value to the game. I like it. Thank you, finally, NWI, for including night maps. Anything else?
That sounds good.
All right. So we got some news events that we can talk about. The first of which is the Ubisoft Forward. Did you guys watch this at all?
I did. I actually watched the entire thing. Yeah.
I watched the 4-minute recoup.
I watched the full hour. I feel like I wish I watched the 4-minute recoup.
I went back. I watched all the trailers and stuff that got released. I didn't watch the actual event.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So some things were shown off, some things were announced. Just going to be a quick little thing. I'll just do a quick little overview. Far Cry 6, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Hyperscape, Watchdog Legions, Brawlhalla, Just Dance 2020, The Crew, Trials, Rising, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and one that I saw a lot of people get really kind of pissy about is Tom Clancy's Elite Squad, which is going to be a mobile tactics game. That has a lot of people irked because they wanted a new Splinter Cell game.
I'm irked. I'm straight up irked. I barely won a Splinter Cell game, but like just watching him being like, oh, there's my boy. Oh, and he's in a mobile game. Cool.
It's also,
awesome.
Yeah, it's got a really cartoony art style, which I can take or leave. I don't know. That one in particular, I might pick it up once it's out, because I'm guessing if it's mobile, it's going to be free.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just what it is. But yeah, I mean,
the one thing I'll say about that specific trailer, it reminded me so much of like an Overwatch trailer in terms of the setting, because it reminded me of what is it, Hanamura? the map Hanamura, which is a very Japanese centric setting. It looked exactly like the first like area in Hanamura, and I was like, are they playing Overwatch right now? Wait, hold on.
I thought it
Wait
looked
a
like,
minute.
isn't there like a Japanese house in Siege? That's what I thought of immediately.
There is, but it's like an entire build. Like it's a big building.
Yeah.
Like it's huge.
Yeah.
I probably should have thought of that one first, but no, my mind straight up Overwatch.
Yeah.
100%.
So, I mean, let's just kind of take these piece by piece. Let's just start with Assassin's Creed Valhalla and the gameplay and whatever else that we saw there. Anything there? I'll start with you, Green. Anything that that tickled you?
Like I'm excited to see more of what comes with Assassin's Creed, just because I like my core of like gaming experience. Like Assassin's Creed was my teenage years. I played the shit out of all of them. But like I've heard a lot of complaints about the whole RPG style system that they've incorporated since Origin. So like
Mhm.
I don't know. I haven't played since the game before Origin. So like I haven't experienced that RPG style where you set up like your skills and stats like that. So I don't know. I had to see more. That's really what it comes down to. I need to see more. I like the setting. You've already heard me talk about how I'd like to see it in like feudal Japan, like soon, because that would be insane.
I mean,
but
there's a game that's coming out that's basically Assassin's Creed in Japan coming out like this Friday, I think.
I think it's the
Ghost of Tsushima. It's supposed to be that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited to see that as well. So, but yeah, I mean, like I like Vikings. Vikings are cool. And I like turtles.
You like mudkips too?
Yeah, no,
Um,
that's not Gen 1. Get out of here with that shit.
You and every other generation except for Gen 1 and fucking Rye Chips, dude. Sven, you look like a Viking. How do you feel about this Viking game?
You know, I after seeing more gameplay and stuff, I wasn't originally that excited for it because I haven't really cared much for the last couple of Assassin's Creed games. But after seeing some of the gameplay of this and seeing how they're changing up a few things and with you know, like they're going to be doing side quests a little bit differently and stuff like that, I'm actually pretty excited for it. It looks like it one thing. All right, so this is kind of like the progressive in me. Like I think it's cool that, you know, they're using a culture where, you know, the women were badasses as well. You know, you had your shield maidens out there and you get to play as one. And so it's like, while it gets to be progressive, it also gets to kind of still remain historically accurate to the time and the geography. So I'm really excited for it. It's going to be more of the whole $80 price point thing again that we were talking about. Are they going to go that route, or are we going to get it for 60? Even so, it's like $60. I don't know if I can do that, but I'm excited. If nothing else, I'll be excited to watch other people stream it.
Yeah. I've never really got my hands on an Assassin's Creed game, so I don't really have a strong feeling about it. I don't know, it looks fun. I'm sure people who have been fans for the last couple games will really enjoy it. I mean, I love Viking settings. As a descendant of a Viking, I apparently lost all of the resemblance of one. I don't know, it looks fun. Looks badass. Hopefully people do enjoy it. Hopefully it's not a complete and utter failure like the Assassin's Creed games have seen. Let's talk the Far Cry 6 trailer real quick.
Oh, I still have rants.
Oh,
dude, I can rant for days on that game.
Oh, on Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, I can talk about it. All right. So first off, it actually does look good. That was the first thing that caught my eye. Was like, it looks good. That shouldn't be too surprising in this day of age. We have a lot of technology to create very beautiful games pretty reliably, right? Like most games that are coming out nowadays look phenomenal. So for the most part, at least for me, that kind of just turns into a non-issue of like, oh, the game's beautiful. Yeah, like every game's beautiful right now. No big deal. For me personally, the gameplay didn't look super interesting. It looked just kind of bland, at least in my eyes, where a lot of things are revolved around moving just a random object. That was what a lot of the trailer really showed, or at least the gameplay trailer, where it was like, oh yeah, they need to siege this area, and a lot of it was just sieging, which sounds cool in theory, but like I was like, okay, they're just running around with a battering ram a lot. This feels very different than what I would expect an Assassin's Creed game to be personally, because at least for me, I played the old school games. I played 1, Brotherhood. I think I played 2, and assassinations are the big thing about those kind of games. And it feels like I know that they've already kind of went off the beaten path with Odyssey, but it seems like the Assassin's Creed name itself just doesn't have as much meaning anymore. It just doesn't. The name itself doesn't matter. It feels like the game, while it might be good, isn't an Assassin's Creed game. That's the way that I look at it personally. And $60 is a lot of money, especially right now during quarantines. Like $60 is a lot of money to throw around, especially for a game where it might be good, but man, during a trailer, like a gameplay trailer, and they can't maintain a steady FPS in certain sections that don't seem very intense. Like there was specifically a section in one of the siege clips where on a kill move, half of it was like lagging, like there were drop frames just happening. And I was like, man, that you guys have like a couple months left. Like, I don't know how you're gonna like work out some of these kinks, because if you're showing this off in your like polished trailer, I don't know, dude. That's a little iffy to me personally. But I don't know. If it turns out good, I'll be happy. Regardless, I don't really see it as an Assassin's Creed game. It looks like an RPG Vikings game, which is cool. I don't really have an issue with that entire premise at all. That sounds cool. But I don't know. I feel like they're just kind of holding on to the Assassin's Creed name for revenue purposes. And it doesn't really just matter about it being Assassin's Creed anymore. That's all. That's my rant.
Bold statement. We'll see how it pans out for you in the comments.
Hey, we'll see.
How could you say something so controversial yet so brave?
Oh man, it's what I do.
Yeah, so the Far Cry 6 trailer. What'd you guys think of that?
It was
I thought it
pretty.
looked pretty good. Yeah.
I like Esposito a lot as an actor already, you know, especially with his role in The Mandalorian, and then just like the whole premise, like the speech and everything that he kind of gave with the kid, telling him, you know, about how things work in the country and all that. I'm sitting there like I was captivated the whole time. I can't remember a time where I've actually sat and be captivated by a release trailer of a game from a series that I've never played. I've never played a Far Cry game. And I'm sitting there like this the whole time, just like with my mouth wide open. Whoa. So I'm really excited to see where this goes.
Oh man, I'm honestly in the same boat. Like, I was in the exact same kind of trance, and I don't even particularly like the Far Cry games. I play them, they're like, I'm all right with this, I guess, like 8 out of 10. But like the trailer, I was like, I need to see if this child blows up. I just need to know.
Yeah, there is that,
man.
like,
it was good. It was a really good trailer.
Yeah, it's like that morbid curiosity of, wow, does this kid lose a hand?
Or like, does he drop the grenade
totally
in the crowd?
Possible. Yeah.
Okay. Green, what do you think about Far Cry 6?
I'm in the same boat that I have been for every Far Cry since Far Cry 3, and that's the trailer. It looks phenomenal. Is it something I'm gonna play? Probably not, just because I've never played a Far Cry game. It's not something that's really interested me in general. But like, the trailer was dope.
Big same.
Yeah. The Far Cry series I have a little bit of a soft spot for. The first one I played was Far Cry 3. I haven't played any of those like standalone things. like
like
Primal or New
Primal.
Dawn or
Yeah.
New Dawn. What's the other one? Is it Neon Dragon? Or Blood Dragon. Blood Dragon. So yeah, I haven't really touched like those other ones, but I have played Far Cry 3, 4, and 5, and I have a little soft spot for them. I think the stories are, they're not always the best. They have a lot of narrative issues, and one could argue some of the points that they try to make, like Far Cry 3's critique of a white savior, isn't very well made. But at least the stories are compelling enough for me to play them. Like Far Cry 3. Oh, you are just this white douchebag who was partying in Thailand and now you're kidnapped by pirates. Okay, I gotta save my friends from these fucking pirates. Cool. Far Cry 4 in the Himalayas. In an area I don't really see that many people really talk about. It was kind of a stand-in for, at least I would say it's a stand-in for Kashmir, which is a region in India that has a lot of, it's an area that has a lot of geopolitical disputes. Like I think China and India actually just had like a little skirmish like a few weeks back. So to like explore like that kind of area is really interesting. And then a critique of cults of personality in the United States, which is not an unheard of thing. Again, something that felt very Waco taken to its, or not Waco, but the Branch Davidians taken to their next logical step, kind of makes sense. Yeah, I mean, they're really fun. They have at least compelling stories that interest me enough to play. Again, the narratives kind of lose the track sometimes. They don't think they make the best points, or they don't make their points very well, but the stories are still intriguing enough to play. So I have a bit of a soft spot for them. And the games are always at least technically solid enough that I'm never like pissed off because the game is bad. Like
they've always been like relatively solid open worlds. Like in terms of just being an open world shooter, like that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, and it's not like playing Skyrim or Fallout where you're getting stuck on the environment.
Yeah.
or you're seeing weird fucking bugs and people like flying into the sky. Like they're technically solid, and like there's not that often in the Far Cry games that I see like major cracks in the facade.
Oh man.
The next
there's an example I can think of. I'm trying to remember the YouTube video itself, but it's one thing that really shows off one thing that Far Cry does extraordinarily well is there's videos of people that clear an entire area in like speed runs as fashionable as possible with like a shovel. And it is the most interesting thing I've ever seen, just watching a dude throw a shovel into the sky, then throw a rock, and watch this guy walk into a spot, get clapped in the head with a shovel. And just like, what is going on here? I think those are great. I think that's a great example of like creativity that you can do with a game like Far Cry, especially like Far Cry.
Yeah.
I will say, real quick, comparison. You were talking about the bugs in Skyrim. This is somewhat unrelated, but still hands down best bug in Skyrim ever is when the dragon goes to breathe fire, but the fire lags a little and comes out the dragon's anus instead of his mouth. Hands down best glitch in Skyrim.
Best glitch. The next game on the list is Hyperscape, and I actually watched some gameplay of this. I know, Green, you're pretty interested in this too. It's a battle royale. It looks like it's going to be free to play. Green, why don't you talk about Hyperscape just a touch?
Well, I think the open beta is actually out right now.
Yeah, I actually saw a little bit of gameplay yesterday.
Yeah, I've been watching a few. It's the standard battle royale. They've introduced a few interesting mechanics with it. Like you can upgrade your guns if you find the same gun laying around. The respawning is different, where you can actually like once you die the first time, you can actually like move around the map as like it looks like you look like a ghost, which is pretty interesting. But like it looks super sweaty, and it's got that cartoony element to it still. You can pick up like power ups and stuff as well. So I mean, it definitely looks interesting. I don't know. I'm definitely gonna give it a try. But I don't know if it'll be my cup of tea. Like I've been dead set on like Warzone because it's more realistic.
Yeah.
So this might not be.
Warzone and Escape from Tarkov have been really big right now, at least.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've been
Yeah.
really enjoying Warzone. I don't know if I could get into EFT, but Warzone's been my shit. So, but yeah, I mean, it's got some interesting aspects. It doesn't have like the standard fight path drop in. All the guns are different, futuristic. It's set in like a digital world, which is pretty cool. It's a cool concept.
Is
Like, I
it
like the
is it filled with digital monsters?
almost.
Digimon.
Damn it! I'm gonna have that stuck in my head all night now. You dickhole! I hate you.
Yeah, so Hyperscape looks interesting to me. I think it could be an Apex killer. I honestly, because here's the thing: is it's in that in between where Apex exists, between the cartoony sci-fi, and the tactical shooter. I know this is hard for you to hear.
I just
How
love
dare
looking
you.
at the look on Green's face of just sheer appall.
How
I put the show
dare you.
notes the audacity. Yeah. Where he-
Audacity.
I think people are either going to be a fan of Apex or they're going to be a fan of Hyperscape. I think the games are. I mean, I'm sure people will enjoy both of them, but I think most people are going to prefer one over the other. Warzone offers something a lot different than what Apex does. Hyperscape offers a lot that is very similar to Apex. The main difference is being like the power-ups and stuff like that, but the idea of futuristic weapons and then some of these other power-ups that are more like character abilities than not, I think is kind of where we're going to see the rivalry there. To me, I'm almost looking at it even art style wise and feel wise in terms of movement. It feels like it's a direct counter to Apex.
Could see that, yeah.
There's also one like major thing that's going to put it up there as a competitor, at least in the stream space, and that's Twitch integration. Like there's actual like Twitch integration with Hyperspace where the audience gets to vote on things that you do and other kinds of. I haven't looked into everything that it's going to offer, but with there being like an actual like integration into the game, that's going to help on the streaming side of it. Now you're going to get your people who don't stream that I think like that's where you're going to have a harder time competing with Apex because it's already established. But when it comes to the streamer space, I think Hyperspace offering, Twitch extension integration is going to be pretty big by the time it's all said and done.
I think it's an interesting first move, personally, because that was the first thing that really stuck out to me, because I'm not a big BR guy. I really could care less about BRs. But putting Twitch integration to a BR is a very bold move. I don't know about that move, personally. I feel like it'll pay out okay short term, but long term, it's probably not going to be that sustainable. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to go about.
Yeah, it didn't really help Darwin Project that much.
Yeah. So I don't know. That one really throws me off a bit. I don't know. I looked at it. I was like, okay, it's another BR, I guess. The story got me a little interested because it made me think maybe the BR is almost half of the game. That was my first impression when I was watching the trailer, because they started really going into the story about how, like, okay, they go into the Hyperscape to go do this, but the Hyperscape is like this entire area. And I was like, oh, okay. Maybe there's more here than just being a BR. And then it was just a BR. And I was like, oh, okay. That's fine.
Yeah. You're looking
I think there's room for expansion. I think there's definitely room for expansion to turn it into something more PvE. And I think that would be interesting. But for me personally, as somebody that doesn't play BRs, I don't know, dude. It looks the same as everything else. It looks the same as like Apex. I can't say it looks the same as every other game. But yeah.
So, anything else in Hyperscape? Otherwise, I think the next thing we could talk about is Watchdog Legions.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, they showed off gameplay for Watchdog Legions. It's the third installment of the Watchdog series. They showed off characters, and they kind of set up this story of a private security firm basically runs all of London, and then there's this underground criminal gang, and you're trying to take them both down in free London with wacky, zany characters that you can recruit to your rebellion. It looks kind of fun. It looks like they take a lot of the humor and stuff from Watch Dogs 2 and apply it to this one, which I think is a really good move, because Watch Dogs 1, from what I understand, was way too self-serious and kind of...
Yeah.
What's that?
Hot garbage.
Yeah, I never even watched it. So, yeah, I mean, it looks okay. Did you guys watch the trailer on that?
I did, yeah. Honestly, I noticed a few flaws immediately that I feel like I probably should have noticed in the first place, to be honest. But one of the first flaws that I noticed immediately is, like, the characters aren't going to be unique. No matter what, all of your characters, while they're going to be unique in terms of, like, skills and in terms of how they look and different from each other, their dialogue is going to be about the same. There's not going to be any, like, real difference in character there. They're all going to be pretty much the same, and they're probably going to have the same voice actors. I can't imagine they're going to pay for, like, 50 plus voice actors for all these different types of characters, because I mean, I think there's like 6-7 different classes of characters, and I don't know, I feel like if you can choose anybody, because that's the main gimmick of it, is like you can just find a random person on the street and then make them work for you over like a period of time. Sounds cool in theory, but you lack the significance of, like, there's no way everybody can have an individual voice actor. There's no way. That can't be done. Unless if you have an absurd amount of money to just go spend on that. No. But that was the big thing. In terms of story, I didn't sound super interesting. It sounded kind of bland. But in terms of being a game, like, just for game's sake, it sounds fun. Like, it genuinely sounded like a fun experience of just being like, yeah, I can run around with a group of grandmas, just go fly off into the sky. Why not? That sounds fun. In terms of, like, a streamer game and things like that, sounds great. It sounds fantastic. If you just want to play a game for fun and fun only, absolutely. If you're probably looking for something with, like, story and depth, I don't know about that one. But I guess we'll see when it comes to that.
Yeah.
It looks fun, though. I will say that.
I have a challenge run idea.
Yeah.
For people to do right away. Nothing but Karens. Middle-aged white women, pixie cuts, and all they do is scream for managers. Challenge run.
I'd like to speak to the manager, and then, like, they go out to eat, and they just, waiter, just the whole game.
I'd like to speak to the boss of this game. Thanks.
I'd like to speak to the
I'll be
depths.
waiting here.
Yeah, I would like to speak to the captain of this paramilitary group. Yeah, I don't like how your officer out there spoke to me. Okay? He was very disrespectful, and I would like my money back.
You don't understand the hell that I can bring to you. I have a lot of friends, and they will be hearing about this.
I have constitutional rights, and I'm going to write a letter.
I don't like the fact that I can't wear a mask in this place because you have facial recognition software that requires I don't wear a mask. Okay. See there, I'm reversing it. You
go to the next building that doesn't have the facial recognition software. It's like, I don't believe that I should have to wear a mask. I have rights.
Going back, I actually am curious. Watch Dogs 2 had co-op, didn't it? I believe it did. I'm pretty sure it did. I'm not super certain. But if Legions has co-op, I think that'll be a super fun game in terms of that. Just like running around as a grandma while like this like little kid is just like, I'm gonna stab this guy. I think that'd be great. I think that'd be hilarious.
Running around being a half-pint slasher.
Yeah, exactly. I think if it does have co-op, and I believe Watch Dogs 2 has co-op, I think that's a great move. I think the focus should be less on having like a really interesting story, because I don't think it's going to be that interesting no matter what. I don't think it's going to be that entertaining. And just focusing on having a very fun game, just having fun with it. I think it can do that. Based on what I saw, I was like, okay, yeah, I can see this being a fun just run around. Absolutely. I could just turn into a guy and just drive a fucking RC real car at people. Of course.
So someone just made a really
man.
interesting point in the chat. And it actually reminded me of kind of like what my thoughts were of the first one. And so this is from Biggs. I think Watch Dogs is going down the Saints Row path. Yes. Because Saints Row started out as like a self-serious, we're going to try to
really
make
good GTA alternative.
Yeah, we're going to be a GTA alternative. And then they're like, oh, we can't be like any more serious than GTA. So let's just go fucking kitschy, goofy, fucking aliens. Yeah. Right. Aliens have captured the Saints. Oh, Satan needs a husband for his daughter. Well, we're gonna kidnap him. We're gonna kidnap the boss, and drag him down to hell. Oh, we want to like have this big grand entrance in which the boss is climbing up a fucking missile in the first 5 minutes of the game to Aerosmith's I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. We're gonna fucking do it. And Watch Dogs 2 is definitely leaning down that kind of or Watch Dogs Legion is definitely going down there, because they stop being so self-serious. Like the first Watch Dogs game was like really self-serious, and it was just trying to be a GTA variant with hacking.
That's exactly why I picked it up too, because like I'm like, oh hell yeah, it's like a hacker version of Grand Theft Auto. It's gonna be super fun, right? And then you're playing it, and it's like what drove me nuts about the campaign was like, essentially it was like the premise of the movie The Rundown with The Rock, where he's like, I don't use guns, I don't kill people. I can't do that anymore.
That was the premise. Oh my god.
And by the end of it, he's like, I'm shooting everyone. Like, oh my, like, like the whole time I'm playing, I'm like, the fuck is going on here? Like,
oh man.
why? It's like it was like straight ripped, like the whole plot was ripped from that. I'm like,
yeah.
See, what I want out of Legions, I was not a fan of the later Saints Row games. I hated them. Personally, I did not like them at all. I want a B-movie version of the video game in terms of story. I want it to be like kind of trying to be serious, but like, oh man, this guy's murdering everything. We need a group of grandmas on a fucking helicopter to go get him. Like, that would be perfect. I want that out of it. I don't really want like, oh, you're a superhero. Do what you want. There's aliens everywhere. It's like, that's a bit much.
Yeah.
But like, absolutely, I need to take down this god of a man using only the power of Granny's strength. Oh yes, absolutely. Why not? That sounds great.
Granny's strength. It's not about the Granny's strength. It's like the purse. Like, have you ever been whacked with a purse? It's not a good time. Those are like very solid. They have everything in there, like their keys, bingo daubers.
There could be weapons inside of the purse that they would hit you with. So, like, you're basically getting hit with two different weapons. You're gonna lose.
It's why I try to snatch the purse first.
That's my purse. I don't know you. Swift kick to the testicles. You're down.
Rav, was there something you wanted to say there? Otherwise, we can go on to some of the other stuff that we have here.
Yeah, no, I never really got into Watch Dogs. My buddy Jarrell from Slappers Only is a huge Watch Dogs fan, but I haven't really gotten into it myself.
Yeah. Ren, I have a question for you. Will we see you shake your ass on Just Dance 2020?
No.
Why not?
We'll get a DMCA strike.
That was the most immediate. Okay, just for anybody watching, I had literally no idea this question was coming. No. The answer's no.
Damn it. You've been working it, man. You've been working it.
Good attempt. Good try. No.
Anyone have any thoughts on Just Dance 2020? I think we know what to expect.
I'm very salty that Ren said no.
It's Just Dance.
Yeah.
I'm saying people are going to be apprehensive to stream it because they're scared of DMCA strikes.
That's a very good point.
A lot of the first round of those that came through were songs that were featured in the last Just Dance game.
Yeah.
And Rocksmith. Okay, next is The Crew 2. And I'm going to also wrap this up with Trials Rising. Apparently is getting a... Oh, no, that's actually... I'm sorry. That's getting just an update. We don't need to talk about that being released. The Crew 2. Anything on that?
I'm trying to remember what that was.
That's an open world
car
racing
game.
sim. Yeah.
Yeah. Where you drive fast.
I know of The Crew. I mean, I guess if you're a fan, I mean, I feel like if you're a fan of racing games, you probably have Forza Horizon 5. I think that's the new one. I think that's the newest one. But if you have that, I feel like you're set. I feel like you're set. I don't think you need to worry about The Crew 2 personally.
Yeah. There's lots of racing sims out there. You know, there's iRacing, there's Gran Turismo, Forza Horizon,
Need for Speed, Forza Horizon. Yeah. There's a lot out there.
GTA itself is basically a racing sim in for a lot of people too.
Yeah.
And then there's new updates coming to Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which that game was just kind of a flop on itself. It's meh. I don't think I really.
Yeah, it was a bad looter shooter.
Yeah.
A really bad looter shooter.
I don't know if there's anything really salvageable about that. So
It's kind of gotten tucked in with like Division 2 and Anthem. Just pushed in there.
Well, Division 2 always seems to come back. It has its waves.
For like like a few weeks and then it's gone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is a shame because the Ghost Recon name is a good name, and they sullied it.
Was a good name.
They sullied it.
Damn it.
God damn it. That does it for that. Do we want to take a quick break and come back in like 2 minutes?
Sure. Yeah, we can.
I'm with that.
All right, guys. We will be back in about 2 minutes. Stay right there. It's July, and that means we've officially hit 2 years as a podcast. And this month, we've got something very special for you all. First off, for you guys, we have a Steam Key giveaway all month long. Join us live on Twitch and use a keyword in chat to get entered, or answer our weekly question in the comments of the YouTube video. Not only that, but everyone who enters will also be entered for a grand prize drawing of a $20 Steam gift card. The more times you enter, the higher chance you have of winning. Not only that, but this month we have limited time merch available on Teespring. An exclusive 2-year anniversary design on t-shirts, mugs, and tote bags. Get yours before August 4th. Thanks for all the love and support over these 2 years, and thank you for listening. All right, and we are back. Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Cats and kittens. Sorry.
Did you
cool cats and
did
kittens.
you
My
just
bad.
reference
My
that
apologies.
bitch Carol Baskins?
Bitch, Carol
Baskin.
Did you just bring up the sworn enemy of Rev's almost governor?
Damn near our president of the United States.
Oh man.
Who would steal 30 sack lunches? I'll tell you who it was. That bitch Carol Baskin.
I do have to say, she knows a lot about sardine oil. So you better watch it.
Listen, that's the only reason why I care. I really need to know about sardine oil. I need that in my life.
Well, she specifically said in an interview that if you want to have a tiger eat something, you just have to cover it in sardine oil. Like, straight up.
Oh my goodness. And a tiger will just show up at my doorstep?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's
throw
great.
it right on your front porch.
thank you.
Just smother it in there. You need a lot of sardine
It's like
oil.
prime shipping for
Fielder,
tigers. That's
husband,
brilliant.
Hold on.
whacking.
Real quick, Ren,
Me.
I would not recommend you do that because you do live in an area that has basically tigers. They're
just
cougars.
because I have mountain lions here doesn't mean anything, okay? It's the discount tiger, all right? I'll refund my purchase.
No, a lion is the
if
discount.
a discount tiger shows up.
I'm just gonna say a lion is a discount tiger. A mountain lion is a discount African lion.
Listen, I'll make the rules, okay?
Okay, so the next thing that we have on the docket here is Devolverland. So, Devolverland, Devolver Digital, instead of doing a generic corporate presentation, Devolver decided to put out a game to show off their new games. Basically, you load into an empty, abandoned convention center, and you need to sneak around to get on the con floor, dodging security robots or disabling them with a t-shirt cannon. Some of the games that were showed off here were Weird West, Olia, Serious Sam 4, Shadow Warrior 3, Carrion, and a few others. The game is free on Steam. And yeah, let's talk about it. Did you guys get your hands on this at all?
I didn't. I honestly knew very little about it in the first place. But I will say, why am I not shocked that Devolver of all places like, oh yeah, we'll make a video game out of it? Like, I absolutely... I as much as I don't really play that many Devolver games, I have a couple. They do amazing like conferences and stuff. They're at least interesting to watch. They're at least funny. So like I shouldn't be that surprised, really. I'm still remembering when they had that April Fools of the game launcher that launches game launchers. That was a good one.
That's fantastic. Rev, what'd you think of this?
I didn't know what to expect going into it, but I'm not, like with Ren, I'm not shocked at all that that's the route that they decided to go, because they're known and expected to do something off the wall and weird with their presentations anymore.
Yeah, they're crazy.
They're really awesome and a lot of fun. There were a couple of games that really kind of piqued my interest out of this, that being the kind of content focus that I have, I'm really excited for Weird West and Carry On. But aside from that, I've never been a big serious. Did you really say that?
Yeah, I said it on a show that we were on the last weekend. I said out of the games, I was looking at them. I think Carrion is going to be one that our other co-host Rev would be a fan of. So I'm just happy that I called it.
Yeah, Carrion and Wild West or Weird West are the two that caught my attention.
Apparently, Weird West is also made by the co-creators of Dishonored and Prey, which is kind of dope. I'm just saying, like, if you're into both of those games, I know a lot of people like Dishonored. I wish I loved Prey. I really do, but it doesn't mesh with me. But like, I acknowledge that there's something really good there. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and see, like Shadow Warrior looks interesting. I've never been that big into Serious Sam. I know a lot of people that are, but I thought it was a really interesting presentation, but I didn't really expect anything less than a good, interesting presentation. I kind of feel like, I don't know why I expected there to kind of be more to it, but given the current circumstances, the state of the world, I know that people's resources to doing things like this are limited.
Yeah. Especially with Devolver, as wonderful of like presentations they do, they are like a AA company. They're not really a big company in the first place. So like having not very many games displayed, I get it. I totally understand, especially with like environment that we're at right now. It makes 100% sense.
Yeah, because they're right there neck and neck for like essentially the most popular, biggest indie developer, or not developer, but publisher out there, right along with Tiny Build. Because they're not this huge over the top, millions of dollars of expenses and marketing type of organization,
right?
So they have to get creative with it, and they do well doing it.
They do so well.
Yeah. Which, talking about the big over the top thing with them, or at least how everything is interesting. I am so tired right now of trying to watch all these like connects and forwards and plays, and like they all feel the exact same. It's, hi, I'm executive blah 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 for blah 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 blah. We know that you guys are, struggling right now in the current global health crisis, and here's also a generic statement about how we feel about said global health crisis. Also, here's a statement about recent events in the United States. Now, let's get to the games. And then they wipe to white, and then they go to fucking like the first trailer. It's like,
that's not even the first trailer. It's like a series of mini trailers for like half a second. Be like, yeah, we have games here, and then it's the first trailer, and it's like, I know what a video game is.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Todd Howard.
Hi, I'm Troy McClure.
Right I'm Todd Howard. And the Battle Royale is live right now. What game am I talking about? All of them. Live right now. Play.
This year for Fallout 76, we're going to include more NPCs, more microtransactions, and it's all just going to work. But yeah, this was a nicer pace of stat, especially because so many of these games have already been shown off at other events.
Yeah.
Weird West got shown off on the PC gaming show. I think I've seen Carrion during the Guerrilla Collective.
It was during the Guerrilla Collective.
There's been a few others that I've seen some of these games on. So this was just a nice change of pace. I honestly like what I just described is every single corporate gaming event right now, verbatim. And of course, like the chat is just blowing up for random bullshit. Like, we didn't talk about this, but this was kind of funny with the Ubisoft Forward thing. They were giving away random keys throughout the whole thing. People were logging in so much it broke their servers.
It broke like immediately. There was maybe like a 10 minutes where people might have gotten a key, and then the entire rest of the event, it was like, oh yeah, no, you can't.
Yeah.
It's like, oh
yeah, what
was the point?
I'm sorry, there was some PR person there who thought that was a brilliant idea, and they once they got that approved, they went out and treated themselves to a steak fucking dinner, and then there was a system administrator in the Ubisoft offices at his desk with a bottle of bourbon. Just fuck this company.
Yeah, I really don't know how they didn't expect that to happen. That happens with like half the things when they do an event like that in the first place. How'd they not be like, what happens if it overloads? Oh, it won't.
Yeah.
Who's gonna want a free thing on the internet? What? Ridiculous.
That's what Anon did when they hit the PlayStation's network back in, it was like 2013 or 2012. They just like spam logged to shut down the whole system for like a month and a half.
I always forget about that actually happened.
I was pissed too, because I think it was right when the PS4 came out, and I just got this brand new PS4, and I'm like, oh yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna play this PS4. And no, you're not. Like, fuck you.
Screw you. Yeah, so back to the games. Weird West looks interesting. That's actually one that I'll probably pick up. It's a ARPG with a lot of story elements in it. It has a really nice aesthetic, which is, Eldritch Cowboys. Like, take Lovecraft and put that like another 100 years or so before Lovecraft actually lived. I like all
Yeah.
that witchy kind of shit, so that was pretty cool. Carrion looks like it'll be a fun one to watch Rev play, because you're just like this amorphous blob just murdering people.
I didn't realize that was the game that Carrion was. I was like, oh, I've never heard of Carrion. And then I just looked it up just now. It's like, oh, it's that game. Oh, the one you're your blob monster that murders literally everything. Got it. Seems good.
Yeah.
Instead of just remaking the movie The Blob for the 100th time, they just decided to make it a game.
Serious Sam 4 I might pick up because that's a tongue-in-cheek first-person shooter in the vein of Duke Nukem and Doom. Looks fun. Shadow Warrior 3 kind of in the same, overly bloody, gory. I think that one has a lot more to do with like motion physics and like combos and stuff. Those are the ones that kind of piqued my interest. What about you, Green? Anything that piqued your interest here?
No. I thought the presentation was really cool. Like, I like the idea of having a presentation as a game. Like maybe Serious Sam, maybe. Yeah. They all looked like they would be fun. It just depends on the price point for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how much time I actually have. 'Cause I have so many games to play right now. And in the future. So
I picked up on the Steam sale, I think I said this, and I'm like now actually going through, like kind of shaking my head at myself. I picked up BioShock 1 and 2 Remaster. I picked up Fallout 4. I also picked up Metro Last Light. And then I also have Dishonored. So I have 5 games because I'm going to start dedicating Fridays to single player games. And I'm looking at my
and you have RE2.
I have Fallout New Vegas that I need to go through.
Kidding.
So also one more real quick that a lot of people have known has been coming for a while from Devolver is Fall Guys.
Oh yes, I was going to mention this.
I can actually tell you firsthand that the game is really fun. I got to do server testing on it not too long ago, and it's just an absolute blast of a time.
Yeah, that does. So that's like it's not a battle royale, but it's a last man standing Wipeout game, right? Like Wipeout, the television show. If people don't remember this, it's like people were all like on an obstacle course, and there's like spinning things and like things you have to jump to, and or like what's on Netflix right now. The floor's lava. Yeah, something kind of like that. Like kind of a goofy. But this one's like a last man standing. It looks like.
Yeah, it's literally exactly that. It's like a race type deal where you're trying to get from point A to point B, and there are obstacles all in your way. Everybody's got like the same looking little like kind of blob dude, but they all can get different little aesthetics. Like they can all get different outfits and whatnot. And it's just it was a lot of fun, but a lot of chaos. So get ready. It's chaotic AF, but up to 60 players at a time.
Yeah, I'm watching the video right now. It looks adorable.
Dude, it's so much fun.
So good.
Like I can't wait for the full release on it. Just like the same way we're talking about Raw Men, where you can actually do like matchmaking and stuff like that. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I think it'd be really cool if you could, if there's a court. Is there a crass? Is there a course designer in that game?
Ooh, that I don't know about. That would be cool if there is, for sure. Like especially like if you could just like take, kind of handpick your own little obstacles and stuff like that and put in the way. I will say one little funny thing they did was they got a license to make what is his name, Gordon Freeman from Half-Life with a little head crab.
Yeah.
On top of him is one of your little characters you can get if you get the collector's edition.
Yeah. Was there anything else on this Devolverland thing that we wanted to talk about? There were like unannounced games in here, or secret unannounced games. I never got to them. I tried to look it up and see what they were, and I couldn't find anything right away. So, I will say there's a boss fight at the end of the event. Do the boss fight. It's pretty fun. Yeah. Anything else on that? Nothing else on Devolverland? Okay.
No, I think we're good.
I didn't say this at the return of the break, and I just wanted to mention it real quick. Guys, if you are interested in winning, in a chance at winning a game, go on ahead and do !Bergie in the chat right now. If you're watching on YouTube or watching at a later date, go on ahead and answer this question of the week for your chance to win a free game. And that is, the question of the week is, what game series would you like to see a remaster for? Go on ahead and answer that, and you'll be automatically entered for a chance to win. The winner will be announced at the beginning of the show next week. Next on our topics list here, though, is the Stadia Connect that I did not realize was happening today. We were going to talk about the Steam News Hub updates, but I figured this is probably more important. I want to give a shout out to the main source that we are using for this story, since I didn't have a chance to really watch or read anything. So go check out Ava Herenkova's. Ava Herenkova, she wrote her article on butwhythoughpodcast.com. So go check her out. The Stadia Connect showed off some new games coming to the streaming service, as well as some features that will be coming. Games-wise, some games that were confirmed to be coming included Dead by Daylight, which, holy crap, that sounds like a bad idea. PUBG Season 8, which will be free for Stadia Pro subs. WWE Battlegrounds, Serious Sam, Outriders, Hello Neighbor, Hitman 1 and 2, with Hitman 3 being launched in January 2021. Some exclusives being the Bomberman R Online, One Hand Clapping, and Outcasters, which is done by Splash Damage, the devs of my dearly beloved Dirty Bomb. Those are the games, again, Super Bomberman R Online, One Hand Clapping, and Outcasters are all debuting on Stadia first. So just games-wise, anything that sticks out there, anything you guys think is worth anything? Does it add value to Stadia? Let's go for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no there.
Yeah, technically yes, but like realistically speaking, the flaws with Stadia aren't even necessarily Stadia itself. It's the fact that there's no good infrastructure for something like this. Like I can't use it. If I had it at my house, there'd be no way that I'd ever be able to play anything. I can't imagine like a good 80 to 85% of people are in that same boat. Like I can't imagine that there's people out there like, oh yeah, I can absolutely do that. Also, apparently Dead by Daylight is launching with crossplay, which is one of the most hilarious things I've ever heard for a Stadia game, and I have to wonder how it's gonna feel getting wrecked every game, because your latency is so bad in crossplay by other players that have significantly better like play experiences.
Now remind me, did Dead by Daylight ever get dedicated servers? Because for a while it was peer-to-peer.
Yes, I think it did. I believe
it did?
So.
Okay, I was gonna say, because if you
it's not
against...
peer-to-peer, because that would be a joke.
That would be
a straight joke.
Complete and utter joke. I mean, it was on peer-to-peer on PC, fucking sucked. I could not imagine doing it on Stadia. Like, it was probably in like playing controller. I don't know how Rev you played controller Dead by Daylight for so long, because I would have murdered somebody in real life. I would have beat someone's skull in with a fucking PS4 controller.
Yeah, I didn't realize how bad it was using controller until I got to mouse and keyboard, and I was like, "Oh, this is easier. I like this."
Yeah, I mean,
oh, man.
Good on them for getting Dead by Daylight, but that sounds like it's gonna be a trash experience.
The one thing that's interesting me about this whole deal, because I read the article before I sent it to you, was one of the features that with the click to play feature.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like not as much the games themselves, but there are some features that are interesting me if they can pull them off properly, like the click to play one where if you how did it work? Like say you're watching a YouTuber play a game and you have Stadia, as long as you have, I think it's Stadia Premium, there'll actually be a little info bar pop up down there at the bottom of the deal, and you can click it and automatically launch that game without having to download any updates or anything like that. If they can pull that off, it'll be really cool. If they can't, shocker.
Yeah, that was a feature in the reveal like over a year ago that they talked about, that they that they mentioned, which is cool. Again, I don't know really, how
I can't
if it's
imagine
going to work
that's
that well.
anything super substantial. Like, I feel like that's pretty plausible for them.
like,
It's Google that we're
I think-
talking about. I feel like
it
that's
would be a
something
lot
that's very
better.
capable.
I think they would be able to pull it off a lot better if they didn't already have kind of a shit repertoire going in, or like a reputation going into this of being like if that's like a feature you introduce to an already existing like massive audience of, oh yeah, by the way, we have this that's really cool, because I don't know that's going to be enough to draw people in to pay the price for the Premier Edition. Okay, I could wait 5 minutes to go ahead and go download the update on Steam.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like, if you already had yourself a pretty substantial audience of people that were excited about it, then I think that feature would be a lot better. It's still a really neat feature, but I just don't know how, like, the cost versus the reward of them doing it. Like, is it really going to help them? I don't know.
Yeah. So here's another thing that I saw that I was kind of interested in. So the price of the Premier Edition is being reduced to $100, and that includes a Chromecast and the Stadia controller itself. Does that interest you guys just for the hardware itself? Like, would that be one of those things, like, you would just buy that and then, like, ixnay your subscription after, like, 3 months? Because, I mean, the Chromecast itself is probably, like, a $50 value. It's a Chromecast HD, and then the Stadia controller itself is probably another $50 to $60 value for $100. And you can use the Stadia controller for Steam games if you have it plugged in via USB.
See, that in and of itself is at least close to making it worth it, because I can attest, I like Chromecast. I've used them before. I like them. So it does kind of, I mean, that does interest me a little bit.
Yeah, and I don't know the exact values of the two pieces of hardware, but $100 for two pieces of hardware, that seems like, okay, maybe I'll consider picking that up just for the hardware itself. I mean, just a thought. What about you, Gren?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a selling point. Every controller can do that right now. I have a PS4 controller that I use for that exact thing too. And a PS4 controller is very universal. It's a very universal. Yeah, and Rev even has a Xbox One. I feel like that's not really a big selling point. At least to me, it's like, okay, I could buy a Stadia controller where the percentage player base is so small that, like, if there are faults in like 10% of players, that's like 3 people that might report it. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big if, right? So, like, if there's any like sort of malfunctions in the controller that like show up over any like short period of time, I can know about that for a PS4 and an Xbox controller. For a Google Stadia controller, I really can't know. I have no idea. I might get a good controller, I might not. Who knows? There's no real repertoire there. You know what I mean? There's no sort of reputation that's like, okay, yeah, this controller will function for long term. There's nothing there. So, like, I don't know. I prefer going for a more reliable controller that I know if there's issues, I know what issues are there. Like, I as a consumer could be like, okay, I can choose the Xbox controller, and maybe in like a year there might be a little bit of drift, versus something like a Stadia controller, which is like, I have no idea. Nobody plays this after like 3 months.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you just mentioned drift, and I got, just a real quick question. Do you think if the Stadia controllers get drift, do you think it gets worse if you shove it up your ass?
What?
You don't know about this article?
No.
I like where this is going.
I'm really intrigued. At first, you have my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
Off with today.
So one of the guys over at Vice said that the Nintendo Switch's drift problem gets worse when you shove a Joy-Con up your ass. This is an actual article. Hold on, I actually have to look this up. Vice.
Wow.
Nintendo Switch drift.
Imagine being the editor for that article. Like, is it like they bring it to you?
Yeah, we need to publish this.
They're just sitting there. It's like, it must be a slow fucking week, isn't it? Like, did you get a source for this, or did you do it yourself?
Yeah. How many? What's the percentage rate on this? Is there a chance that it fixes the controller? Where is this information coming from? Yeah. Yeah, where's the control and where's the experiment? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so this is the from Motherboard Tech by Vice. Nintendo Switch's Joy-Con sync issue is even worse if you put it in your butt. This by Jed Whitaker. Let me just read the first paragraph. Nintendo hot new console is finally here, and everyone's talking about how great it is. It's Zelda this, Zelda that, Zelda, Zelda, Zelda. If you don't know any better, you'd think it think it only had one game, but thankfully that isn't the case. Yeah.
It really gives like a whole new meaning to someone saying you can take that game and shove it up your ass. Like,
Well, I guess I could theoretically. It might make it work better. Who knows?
Look, if Nintendo didn't want Joy-Cons shoved up my ass, they shouldn't have made it the right size to go up there.
Yeah, where was that in the terms and conditions, Nintendo?
It's really on Nintendo.
Like a warning on the box that says, "Please do not shove in your ass."
Frankly, Nintendo, this is your fault. Let's be real here.
You're going to start seeing Nintendo Switches with just like a disclaimer. It says, disclaimer, do not shove Joy-Cons in rectum.
Here's rarely where they went wrong is that, they said that the Switch could fit in your pocket. They didn't say it wasn't your prison pocket.
Well, actually, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, okay? Why would they put the strap on the handle if they didn't want the handle not to go someplace? You know what I mean? Like a pull cord.
So it doesn't get lost.
It's got a spare pull cord.
Like an emergency pull chute.
Exactly.
You know what? I wonder. I have a Switch that's kind of busted. I'm going to see if it actually fixes the drift. I'll report back next week. I don't believe them.
This is a good podcast, guys. Thank you for having me on. I think I'm going to go to bed.
Go to bed is code word for going to the bathroom for about 5 minutes.
I think this is the first.
I have a Switch. I need to go play real quick.
Wait for the Joy-Con vibrations.
On a serious note, the two things that do come with this $100 bundle separately retail for $69.99 each. So because it comes with the Google Chrome Ultra, which is the 4K edition, or the Chromecast Ultra rather. And so if you were looking into doing Stadia at all, it feels like it would be pretty close to worth it. Also Joy-Cons, but
I think this is the first conversation on the podcast in a while that has actually broken me. And I apologize for bringing this upon the world, I guess.
Apology not accepted.
Apology not accepted.
I mean, I think you just found your selling point for the podcast this week. Like this is the promotional tweet every day. Like, want to hear people talk about Joy-Cons and buttholes? Click here. That's all you got. Just click right here.
Just have like a specific segment of "Will this fit in your ass?"
And then at the end, be like, "Oh, also Devolverland." And then it's
Devolverland.
like, Joy-Cons and buttholes. Oh, also the Ubisoft thing.
So, fellas, have you ever been playing with a game console and it just decides to stick the controller in your buttholes?
Here, it's an erogenous zone, kind of a hot button of sorts. Felt natural. Felt pretty good, boys. Gotta say. Got a hard note.
Why am I here?
We're gonna have to start putting ads at that specific time point where they have the call this number if you're lonely, like freshly 18 and we're lonely, and it's like that's the pitching points like feeling experimental.
Red just walked off screen.
You don't have to be lonely at joyconsonly.com.
Oh my goodness. Ren, come back. We need you. We need you, Ren. Um,
Are we done? Are we done?
You know, guys, Ren is right. Some fellas ought to know when too much butts talk is too much butts talk.
There's such thing as too much butt talk, and the fella ought to be fucking aware of it.
So back to the Stadia Connect. News-wise, this is more substantial than we got earlier this year, for sure. But not really by much. I like seeing that there's technically more value being added to the service. There's more reason to look at Stadia now, at least. Whether those are good reasons to look at Stadia, I don't really think so.
I like how they're throwing Sekiro onto it. Like that's really a good game to play on something like that.
Yeah,
blows my mind.
Yeah, how awesome is Bloodborne to play at 30 FPS?
It's not.
There was like one guy sitting there like Leo DiCaprio, that new meme from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that saw that announcement, had his beard in his hand, was like, that's the one. That's the one, I'm sold.
Right.
A game focused on specific timings, and you're putting on the one console that doesn't have any fucking possibility of having specific timings. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, so here's like the big question for me is where they keep focusing on like these multiplayer games. Where are like the fucking walking simulators? Like these, you know, like,
the one set of games that would totally work for it.
Yeah, like Observer or Layers of Fear or Bendy in the Ink Machine. I mean, I'm just listing out horror games right now, but I mean, that's like perfect. Those are perfect games for that service.
I thought he was just looking at my stream history right there, because like that was like almost in order.
Or for Green can play the demo of Locked Up again. Just this time on Stadia.
You can eat my ass. Thank you very much.
Depends. Is there a Joy-Con up there?
I will say this.
I have food. I can go.
I will divert this back. I will say, although they didn't release any like names or information on it, they did announce that there will be exclusive titles coming to Stadia.
Yeah,
and that's where I'm curious as to what's going to happen there. Like what's going to be coming down the pipeline. That's an exclusive and not a Joy-Con. That like they can actually hang their hat on it. Like they can say, all right, this is something we got, because like PlayStation had that with Horizon Zero Dawn and a few other God of War originally and stuff like that. And then Xbox had Halo. I mean, these were huge titles at the time that really drew people into those consoles. Like, what are you going to offer up that's going to make people say, okay, I'm interested in playing this game in the most choppy of settings. Let's go.
Man, if you didn't have good points, I would have just left when you said the Joy-Con in the pipeline. I would have been gone.
And then like one other thing with this, I'm surprised we didn't see more features get announced or included. Steam, like if we're looking at these like launcher wise, Steam is really killing it feature wise. They have a news hub, they have the groups, they have more social stuff, they have broadcasting on there. You would think with Google's massive catalog of services, they would focus on integrations. They could be like, look, you can connect this game to your YouTube account, and then we have all this VoIP here. We're gonna also like create like a VoIP service along with it that you guys can use. Oh, and then also with you can track your stats with this official Google spreadsheet template. Where's
track your stats with the Google Stat Tracker Chromecast?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Parentheses.
It's gonna have like crappy Google Doc integration or something.
But I mean, there is no integration.
Though I feel like that's the biggest problem with it by far. Is like they seem out of touch. It's just like, okay, yeah, let's throw on a bunch of multiplayer games on a community that doesn't really have anything there in the first place. So it doesn't really make sense. And I totally agree with like single players. Absolutely. That's like the one thing where I completely understand and agree that, yeah, I could totally see like if you wanted to play something like Odyssey has a big download and like it's single player. I can get it. I can understand in that regard. I don't understand something like Dead by Daylight or something that really involves like specific timings like Sekiro. That blows my mind. I just don't get those. And there's just nothing else there that's really like, okay, sure, you're throwing on a bunch of games, but what are you doing to the actual service to make it usable? Because it's not very usable for most people. Like, what are you doing to improve that specific thing? Otherwise, you're throwing on a lot of things that I still can't use. Even if I wanted it, I couldn't use it. So I don't understand.
It literally feels like Google just stepped up and said, you know what? All right, I guess we're just going to try our hand at getting in the gaming space and just ran with it. Like, didn't sit down and have like actually planning.
I was really shocked that they were adding more. I really thought like, oh, Stadia Connect, maybe they're coming out with better features. Maybe. And then it was like, no, a bunch of new games. It's like, most people still can't use this, right? Like, most people can barely run this at maybe like 480p. I don't really know what you're getting at here.
It's going to be so bad, dude. It's going to be a dumpster fire.
Well, I mean, it already kind of has been. I mean, the user numbers for Stadia, I mean, the only user numbers we can really access are the Destiny 2 numbers, and those aren't good. Those Destiny 2 numbers for Stadia are not good, and they've steadily gone down. I don't know. It
blows
gets,
my mind.
it gets tiresome to talk about Stadia because it's just like there's so much to talk about, but it's all the same stuff. Green,
they're an important.
Yeah, we've been talking about this since like before I was a host. Like I was guessing when they like announced it and it started actually becoming a possibility. And then we've been shit talking at the same thing we're talking about now.
Well, and what's really interesting is we shit talk Stadia, but we praise Nvidia now, which
Nvidia did good.
GeForce Now was actually not bad.
Yeah, I used it, and it worked really well on the road with a laptop.
Well, part of what I'm trying to say here is it's amazing that we like GeForce Now because it's a well done service.
Yeah.
That
rather than a cash grab.
It's a well done service that lets you ease into using it. Stadia, it's like if you buy a game on Stadia, you're balls in on having it on Stadia. Right? Like you have your skin in the game on Stadia now. With GeForce Now, you get access to your Steam library, so you can try it out. And then it's only $5 for a premium service a month. Awesome. I'm not paying $60 to access it on Stadia.
Optional $5.
Optional. It's a premium service.
Pay $5.
Yeah, that's the premium version of the service. There's a free version of the service that's pretty damn good.
Yeah. Let's actually like take a second to actually just say, well played, GeForce Now. Like, GG.
#flex.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really honestly don't get like as much like credit as they deserve on it. Really, like I almost never hear about GeForce Now unless if it's something like Stadia being brought up. Like that's pretty much the only time. But like it's a really good service.
Yeah, the biggest thing about like when GeForce Now is being talked about, it's usually like a company getting pissed off that they're not getting any money for it, and pulling their games away from it, which is asinine because it is a PC rental system. Essentially, is what it is. It's like you already got your money from Steam. Like
you're accessing your content license for your consumer license for it through just another server. That's like the difference in me watching something on Hulu in the living room and then just watching it in in my bedroom. It's the same.
Yeah, you need a second service. Different. You need it.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. They need to. Companies need to knock it the F off. You're hurting yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, we raked whatever dev said that over the coals. There's an indie dev that we raked over the coals on the show. I don't even remember who it was. I think it was the devs of the Long Dark.
Yeah, the Long Dark.
His name was Scott something, I think, because I think I remember the words "fuck Scott," and then there was a last name there that I didn't care to remember. So, word for the week! Exclamation! Fuck Scott and Windstream. It's gonna be a long one.
All right, so I think that really does it for Stadia Connect. Was there any other thoughts that we could express on this that we haven't already expressed?
Just stop.
If you're going to continue working on it and not just kill it off, because I don't know why you haven't done that yet, if I'm going to be honest, make it run. Make it run functional for other areas.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no point.
Like, make it run,
don't get it.
limp.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, cool. I think that does it for our topics. Looking at our time here, I think we're right in that sweet spot that we wanted to be in. So let's start wrapping up the show. This is your guys' last chance right now. Go on ahead and do !Bergie in the chat if you are interested in winning a free game here. We will announce the winner right after. First, we'll announce a winner here in just a few moments. But first, also remember to answer the question in the YouTube comments of this video. Question being, what games or series would you like to see get a remaster? And you'll automatically be entered for a chance to win a free game, and you will be announced at the beginning of next week's episode. We'll announce our winner here in just a moment, right after Ren tells us what's coming up on his channel, where people can find him, and all that good shit. Go on ahead.
Well, you can find me at twitch.tv/renditions, 2 Z's. Stupid, me dumb, big tiny brain. I've been playing a lot of VR recently. I've been playing a ton of Skyrim VR. I've modded a bunch of it. I've been having a blast with it. I might be doing a stream actually later tonight. I'm not sure. If I do, I'm going to be playing some Super Hot. So that'll be fun. That'll be a good time. Super Hot VR will be a blast. But yeah, I play all sorts of games. I do all sorts of things. I achievement hunt. I barely quote unquote speed run, but I'm so bad that it doesn't matter. I play games. That's what I do. But yeah.
Excellent. Guys, go check him out. Of course, links will be in the description of this episode. Let's go on ahead and roll for our winner here. Mr. Greenlee, while I'm rolling for the winner, remind them what they're rolling for.
They are rolling for a copy of Psychonauts this week.
And congratulations to Black Sabbath 736 for winning the giveaway this week. I will send you a message with the Steam key. And love you, Dad. That's my father.
Rigged.
This is reverse nepotism.
I don't think there's such thing as reverse nepotism. Well,
there is now.
All right, Mr. Greenlee, go on ahead and tell the kind folks out there what you got going up on your channel and where people can find you, all that good shit.
But first, I just want to take a quick moment to thank Danie and Ren, because Ren is beautiful. He's not. He keeps saying that he is stupid because of the whole 2 Z's, but I disagree.
It's a skill.
What'd you say?
I said it's a skill to be as dumb as I am.
No. It is. You're amazing. Stop. So, like, I appreciate you guys. Like, I found the podcast. It was fantastic. Like, it really got me through like my platform on Twitch. Like, it really it made me strive to be better. I really enjoyed the content, and like, while sad to see Ren leave, I very much appreciate the opportunity to be a host now. So, yeah. But you guys can follow me on Twitch, or not follow me. You don't have to follow me. I'm on Twitch.
Follow him.
Don't follow me. Follow Ren.
Do it.
Twitch.tv/Mr. Green Elite. You can also find me on my socials: Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, all the fancy things. So.
Sorry, I was typing there in the middle. Yes, go on ahead and give him a follow. Padre.
Type in front of my shame on you.
I was giving you a shout out. Padre, what's coming up on your channel?
Well, shit, probably nothing, Danie. Until they won't be out. They won't be out here to even look at this stuff again until Thursday. I'm probably going to try to focus a little on the YouTube side. I picked up Chair Fucking Simulator for $2 on the Steam Summer Sale. It is exactly what it sounds like. I'm going to probably record video for that for YouTube. I also have a couple of things I'm doing that are NDA right now, so I can't really announce names or anything, but there's going to be some cool stuff coming soon on that, but it's going to be YouTube as well. And then I'm going to start doing some geocaching and magnet fishing for YouTube, which you can find me on all social media platforms and YouTube at RevSpin TV, while you can find me on Twitch, hopefully once again someday, at just RevSpin.
Can you repeat that game?
Chair Fucking Simulator?
Yeah,
That's-
and mild
yeah.
question: does it come with joycons?
It's like a date. Okay, so like actually, this is a legit game. It's like a dating simulator where you go through this dating app and try to find these chairs that you were attracted to and hook up with these chairs in like a bleak, empty warehouse and just fuck that chair. It's
So romantic.
Smashing
Yeah,
chairs.
yeah. You, however, are not a chair. You're a weird gray blob, and so I was like, you know
I
what?
can't believe
Yeah,
you'd
this-
even say something like that to me. How dare you.
Actually, this was you can't see me, but I'm looking at a mirror right now. But it's yeah, I had somebody recommend it to me, and I'm like, you know what? We're gonna do this thing because why not? Why not?
You ever watched Robot Chicken?
Yes.
Like back in the heyday? That just
Yeah, the
reminds me of
robot.
the humping robot that just humps
Yep.
everything.
Yep. So get ready for some good old fashioned seat intercourse on YouTube in the coming week. Hot.
Oh boy. Coming up on my channel, we have more Fallout Friday, and then I don't know, maybe some Insurgency and whatever else going into next week. You guys can follow me on Twitch at Danie K, DANIECAE. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram under the same thing. Also subscribe to the YouTube channel, Danie K Media. That's where you guys can see some YouTube content as well as this podcast every week. I think that's going to be all that we have for you guys this week. We sincerely appreciate all of you for taking your time to watch and listen to the show over these past 2 years. You guys are absolutely fucking amazing. It's been such a blast. Again, a huge shout out to all my co-hosts, past and present, all the guests we've had, and all the listeners and people who have enjoyed the show. We hope that we have brought you guys value over these past 2 years. Don't forget to comment the question of the week. Oh, and then merch, limited time merch for until August 4th. So pick that up. We have t-shirts, mugs, masks, and a few other things on there. So make sure you guys check that out. Another thing before we go, I just wanted to give a shout out to Lou Merck. He's the guy who gives us the beats that you've heard at the intro and during our ad break. Check him out in the links now in chat. Also, be sure to find him in the description of this episode. If you guys like what we do, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, give us a rating and review on the podcast platform of your choice. And the number one top tier way you guys can help support the show is by sharing us with your friends. Until next week, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, keep fighting the good fight, and we'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Love you.